Identifying plants doesn't have to stop in the winter if you know what to look for. Today, we're going on a hike to see what kinds of invasive plants can be found in the winter. Don't forget, before and after entering a trail, be sure to use a boot brush on your shoes and brush off any seeds on your clothes. There are 4 key ways plants can be identified in the wintertime. These include habitat type, growth habit, bark, stem and bud pattern. They can be alternate, opposite, or sub-opposite in pattern, and small features such as berries, thorns, or dead leaves remaining on the plant. Often, invasive species will lose their leaves much later than native species, which can be an important clue as to what it might be. This is common buckthorn, a woody shrub that can quickly become a monoculture. It's found along woodland edges, roadsides, and disturbed areas. Buckthorn can grow to be up to 25 feet tall and 10 inches in diameter. It can have a single stem coming from the base or multiple stems. Common buckthorn has a terminal thorn at the end of its branches. Its branch pattern is most often sub-opposite. It can also have thorns along the branches and trunk. Common buckthorn branches and trunks often have light-colored stripes. These are called lenticels, which allow for gas exchange and respiration. A common method of spread for buckthorn plants is the birds eating the berries and spreading the seeds to new areas. Occasionally, buckthorns will have black, pea-sized berries in the wintertime. An invasive look-alike is glossy buckthorn, which lacks the terminal thorn at the end of the twig. Let's continue further down the path and see what else we can find. This is autumn olive. Autumn olive can grow to be up to 20 feet tall. It can have multiple stems growing from its base, as it's often prone to resprouting, especially when cut. Sometimes the red speckled berries of autumn olive will remain on the plant well into the winter. Like the common buckthorn plant we saw earlier, birds will often spread the seeds of autumn olive through the berries that they can eat. The branching pattern of autumn olive is alternate. Sometimes a few leaves remain on the plant, such as in this shot here. You can use this to identify it as well. Dried leaves will still have the telltale speckles of autumn olive. Let's continue further down the path and see what else we can find. Honeysuckle is a shrub. They are upright to spreading and have multiple stems. There are several different species of invasive honeysuckle, and sometimes they can hybridize with each other. However, there are some characteristics that they all share. Older invasive honeysuckle branches are often hollow with a brown pith. The bark of honeysuckle is also a unique identifier. The bark can be gray to tan with noticeable ridges. That's all the winter invasive species that we've seen on this walk. Don't forget to clean off your shoes after exiting the trail. We know that there are invasive species here, so we want to keep them away from other places. Now that we've successfully identified these 3 invasive species in the winter, it's a good idea to report it to MISIN, the Midwest Invasive Species Information Network. It is important to keep a record of invasive species where they may be found, so that monitoring and treatment efforts can be more successful. You can also directly contact your local CISMA and inform them of the invasive species you found. They are also a great resource if you are not sure of what you have found. For more information about invasive species and how you can slow their spread, visit our website at sbcisma.com or follow us on our social media pages.